everybody. Yep, you blew my phone up. You made my phone be blasting with questions, lots of questions about my last video. So, you asked, and I thought, let's do a little class on it. Let's have a conversation about all this eating your sunscreen. Why not? I did years and years of research, so I'm going to just share this with you guys. And I hope somebody hears. So, let me turn that down. Okay, in case you are watching this after the fact and we are not friends on the Facebook, or you're watching it on YouTube or whatever, my name is Jen Weir and I'm wife to a former stick-crazy carnivore turned plant-eating triathlete sound-minded man. I'm a mom to 5 kids, one of which who had an aggressive hereditary cancer that has never returned. And because of all of that, my life's work is to pouring into you guys and anyone who will listen to thrive in life and live better. I guess it's been exactly a week ago that I did a kind of a chemical-free, I don't even know what I called it, on my personal Facebook page on this here, about chemicals and all of that, getting rid of them, and why it's important. We did the Think Dirty app. I did a little recon mission, and 1,000 of you guys or more watched it, which I was like, say what? Awesome. I don't even have 1,000 friends on Facebook. It got shared bunches and bunches of times. Thank you for sharing it. And so here's the thing. This needs to get shared. Guys, what I'm about to tell you now, you're going to need to be hitting the share button. Invite your friends to be watching right now, because the Eat Your Sunscreen, though it's a weird topic, as I dive into it, you guys are going to be blown away by what I have to share with you. I mentioned that one of my kids had an aggressive hereditary cancer. So I'm going to briefly tell you the story. I don't want to repeat myself, but if you've not ever heard the story, this is huge part of it. So 6.5 years ago, my oldest son was diagnosed with malignant melanoma. He had a tumor right on his neck. The tumor is a mole. We call it a mole, but when it becomes cancer, now all of a sudden it's a tumor. Here's the thing. The doctor said it was doomed to be back early and often. They said my other kids had a 50% higher chance of getting it. The only hope that they gave us was that Zion would surely look like Swiss cheese by the time he was 18. It's not much hope, friends. So the other thing the doctors would say is he has to stay out of the sun. He has to use copious amounts of sunscreen. Avoid the sun at all costs. Sun equals cancer. That's bad. We needed to stay out of the sun. And for the first year, dutifully, we did that. We stayed out of the sun. We had him wear this super dorky hat, like super dorky. He wore long sleeves, and the doctors were saying, I know it's hot in Texas, but you have to wear long sleeves. You have to do this. After a while, we had changed our diet. We had gotten rid of the chemicals. We started, using essential oils to support our wellness and all of this. I did a lot of research, and then I did some more research, and then I did some more research. And here's what I found. My research showed that the advice of staying out of the sun, of using copious amounts of sunscreen, were the worst pieces of advice a doctor can ever give a cancer patient. The worst. So we did all that before cancer. Isn't the definition of insanity repeating the same thing over and over, expecting different results? Wouldn't you guys say so? So we don't want to be insane anymore. So before, they were telling us avoid the sun, use tons and tons of sunscreen, and wear long sleeves. We did that before my son had cancer. So we would be considered insane if we kept repeating that behavior. It's just like if you guys know someone that gets breast cancer, that gets prostate cancer, that gets blah, 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 all of this stuff, but they keep going back to their chemicals that are under their sink. They keep eating the same crap they were eating before. That's the definition of insanity. You had a problem, it created a problem, but you keep doing the stuff that's causing the problem. We decided to not be insane. So, here's what we did. I researched a ton. Here's a couple things. I'll tell you a couple things briefly that I found. Number one, lemons stave off skin cancer, specifically melanoma. Lemons, the peel of the lemon. So, okay, as a mom, I'm like, well, let's do something today. We bought some organic lemons, cut them up, put them in green smoothies, because we were making them drink green smoothies. We'll talk about that in a minute. That, in my mind, I'm like, okay, peel of the lemon, green smoothies, all good. We're on the right track. We're moving. Now we do something a little less time consuming than cutting up the lemons, but we still get that peel goodness into our cells. Right here. We learned that sun isn't the cause of cancer. The chemicals in our life and our diet was. So if that's what would cause it, don't you think that we could change those things and then not get the cancer? See for yourself. I've got some interesting information. I pulled up here, I've got my notes. The sunscreen that we use all the time before Zion got cancer was copper tone. Yes, I am throwing them under the bus. I was about to say I'm not throwing one under the bus. I'm totally throwing copper tone and all the other chemical-laden products under. The two main ingredients, the active ingredients, are avobenzone and then oxybenzone. Guys, those two ingredients are behind the increased rates of melanoma. They are. So here's what happens in the avobenzone. I'm going to try not to get super chemical on you guys and our chemical sciencey about chemicals. But this is important. So the avobenzone is a primary agent in all sunscreens. And here's what it does. It degrades in the sun, so it breaks down, which results in the releasing of free radicals on your skin, on your biggest organ. See, here's the thing. If you don't know this, then you just slather stuff on your biggest organ and not even know. And here's the thing. All of these things are allowed. I have some alarming statistics. Also, I see there's all ladies on here. Good. There's no guys right now. Ladies, listen up. That oxybenzone, it is linked to allergies. How many of you guys have posted on the Facebook, oh, my allergies are killing me? It could be your chemicals that you're putting on your skin. Also, it found that, oh, Daniel, okay, Daniel, but this is for you too. Thanks for joining, by the way. The oxybenzone is a known hormone disruptor. This is for guys too, so Daniel, listen up. Hormone disruption. That means those boys, when you're trying to have babies, they're not going to be swimming as fast. Ladies, those eggs are going to be dropping. Not good. Dropping, dying, I mean. They're not going to be good. Hormone disruption. Hormones all over the place. Ladies, you are men, you want to have not crazy teenagers, don't put chemical on their skin. That's how that goes. All right, let's dive in. Because this is about eating your sunscreen. Okay, I'm going to give you just a couple of tips on, well, why the increased rates of skin cancer. And guys, here I'm going to tell you this. I promise you. And then when you share this, please share it with people. They need to know this. Please warn them, or not warn them, but let them know. She's not going to tell you to go vegan, although I do think it's a great diet. It's worked wonders for us for the last almost 5 years now. Well, it has been 5 years, actually. It has been 5 years. I'm not going to tell you guys to go vegan. This is so simple. You're probably going to go like this, I can't believe this is so simple. This is so simple. And here's the other thing. After I started, I make my own sunscreen. And somebody wanted my recipe. Actually, several people wanted my recipe. Somebody went to Costa Rica. Somebody went down to the equator. Somebody went here, there. And they used my sunscreen and they got sunburned. And I was like, that's weird. We use it. We don't get sunburned. Uh-oh, Jen Weir's going to do some research again. So blah, blah, blah. I do my research and I realize it's not the sunscreen that keeps you from getting sunburn. It's what you eat that keeps you from getting sunburn. I mean, this is life-changing information. Somebody asked me just a little bit ago, how do you know if people, if companies aren't being sinister or whatever? It's like, because I'm a research expert. I'm a researching fool. My daughter, I was sort of saying that out loud, and my daughter goes, oh yeah, you research all the time. So, research. And I know the research places to go to, PubMed, Google.Scholar. Guys, don't just trust a company that's trying to sell you something. Because of course they're going to tell you it's good. Go to actual boring, super black and white, no fun articles. But they're good. They're important. Let's dive in. Why is skin cancer on the rise? starts with this, omega-6 vegetable oil consumption. So what is that? Canola oil, cottonseed oil, vegetable oil, soybean, etc. These are a very new addition to our diet in the last, 50 years. There's no biological reason that we should be consuming these oils in this state. These oils are bad for our bodies. And if one of you says, oh, but they taste so good, I swear to you, I will come find you. Just because it tastes good, look what it's doing to our bodies. Look at the cancer rates. Raise your hand if you know someone who's got the cancer. This is not sun cancer, skin cancer specific. This information I'm about to give you can be applied to all cancers. The breast cancer, the prostate, the testicular cancer. If you have boys ages 15 to 28, they are at risk. Men, if you carry your cell phone in your pocket, take it out because you're radiating the boys down there. Stop it. Don't do that. Okay. Sorry, I get a little passionate about this. There is evidence, however, talking about omega-6, those vegetable oils, that when they're consumed, they can actually lead to skin cancer. Here's why. Because they inhibit skin formation. Your skin cells are supposed to slough off. That's why you should use an exfoliant. Even men should be scrubbing. Okay? Some studies have shown that because it has high, let me pronounce this right so Daniel doesn't pester me, linoleic, that's it, linoleic acid, because of that high content in vegetable oils, that can increase the instances of skin cancer and other cancers. Guys, I'm not just talking about skin cancer. I am a skin cancer expert in how to not get it back, but this can be linked to all the cancers. It's not just this. So the amount of the linoleic acid in the diet throws off the balance between omega-6 and omega-3s and making the skin susceptible to damage from the UV rays. So it's super straightforward. It's like this. Omega-6, too high. Omega-3s, too low. Too much omega-6. It's out of whack. This accounts for the sharp rise of melanoma incidence in our Western nations, not just America. I think I told you guys last week, Zion, so this was 6.5 years ago, he was 9. About 2 years later, his doctor said, yeah, I'm starting to see more patients Zion's age, and he was starting to share our story. He didn't share about the eating foods and clean and all that, it's clean lifestyle, but he was basically saying, yeah, that he knew what he was talking about because he had a kid already as a patient. He wasn't a pediatrician, because there's no pediatric melanoma specialist. They'd be the brokest doctors you'd ever know because it just didn't exist at that time. Now, it exists. It's a thing. Here's the other thing. Increased consumption of processed foods. With the recommendation to limit saturated fats, so stop the saturated fats. So we here eat heart-healthy grains. This has been a recommendation of the SAD American, I shouldn't say SAD, yeah I should, SAD, right? Standard American Diet, the SAD diet, in the last few decades. So here's what happens. People consume these grains, and that causes inflammation in the body. Grains are very acidic. It causes inflammation. That's all bad for our bodies. Omega-6 with the grains, inflammation bad, right? Right. We just don't get enough good life-giving nutrients. So here's the thing. Here's where you're going to want to get your pen and paper and write this down. This is going to be so simple, friends, that for real. To eat an anti-inflammatory diet you don't have to be a rocket scientist. To eat a diet that's going to help boost your internal sunscreen, it's super, super simple. Chances are you like everything I'm going to tell you. You just aren't doing it with a purpose and intention. And that leads me to a whole other topic. But living life with purpose and intention will help you have a more abundant life. That's what Jesus called us to, a life of abundance. That's why he came, so that we could have life and have it to the full, have it to the abundance. But we're so hell-bent on filling our bodies with instant gratification, with like the McDonald's and the French fries and the C-Wrap. Today we were at a field trip, and as we're leaving, these poor sweet kids were leaving with their mom, and they were not arguing, but bantering. Ooh, should we have McDonald's? Should we have Chick-fil-A? Ooh, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A. I'm like, neither! Dear God, go home and make them a salad. Whew. Anyway, okay. So, just as unhealthy food has a negative effect on our skin and overall health, right? A real food diet can offer protection from various health issues, including sun-related ones. So, fortunately, the diet and lifestyle factors that help with the skin health are very doable. I'll say it again. If you are not taking notes, now's the time. I'm going to give you information that can help, I shouldn't say disease-proof, but darn near. Okay? Here we go. Eating enough good fats. You guys all know this. This is not a no-brainer. But how many of you guys actually get enough good fats? Ditch the omega-6 vegetable oils. Stop cooking with it. Don't buy vegetable oil. Don't do any of that nonsense. Omega-3 fats. So good. Let's talk about, let's see. What can we get? Where can we get good fats from? We can get them from avocados. We can get them from coconut oil. If you guys are not taking 2 tablespoons of coconut oil every day, you're having fun wrong. You should totally be upping your coconut oil consumption. I will pause here and talk about Alzheimer's and brain health. Have you guys ever wondered why so many people have Alzheimer's these days? Think about it. When I was a kid, I hear my grandma going on a low-fat diet. A low-fat diet, all bad. You eat fat, you're going to be fat. Yeah, that's not true. So what's happening is our brains are shrinking. Hey, Kim, thanks for joining. Our brains are shrinking. They're shriveling up. They need fat. Our brains need fat. Enter Alzheimer's, memory issues. Memory issues are not a part of aging. That's not a natural part of aging. That's a problem. Eat your good fats. Getting enough antioxidants. Antioxidants equal sun protection. It's a secret. This is the secret to sun protection right here. Antioxidants. I'm going to say it again. Write this down. If I could see you, I hope I'm seeing you do this. What did she say? How do you spell antioxidants? Sun protection secret, antioxidants. What are antioxidants? I know we say it's like this big old fancy word that we throw in. Oh, you need to get your antioxidants. Have you had your antioxidants today? We don't know what the heck they are. Do you? Do you guys know what antioxidants are? Anybody? Holla, raise your hand. Type it in the comment section. I'll tell you. I got to read it because I don't want to get all mixed up. They're little compounds that fight free radicals. What are free radicals? Free radicals are atoms / molecules or molecules that contribute to all kinds of sinister body breakdowns. Free radicals are little things that prowl around in the body, stealing electrons from healthy cells. Antioxidants run through the body, and they make it rain with their extra electrons to the free radicals so that they stop pestering the healthy cells. Cool, right? Right. So antioxidants, it's like they got a backpack of extra electrons on them. They run around to the cells, pass them out. That's it. But here's the thing. We're not getting enough antioxidants. We're not doing this on purpose, and so our bodies are like, help me, my electrons are being stolen. You guys, if you know the why, you're going to be able to live better. You're going to be able to help your body thrive in life. If we're avoiding acidic foods, omega-6 oils, and eating good fats, our greens, which are high in antioxidants, and then on purpose antioxidants and fermented foods, you're probably, if you're doing all of that, you're probably good in the antioxidant department. Even eating real food treats like berries and dark chocolate, yes, I said dark chocolate, we'll talk about that in a minute, are packed with antioxidants. Antioxidants can help reduce inflammation and free radicals. An anti-inflammatory diet is not that difficult. I hope you guys are seeing that. Research has shown a strong protective effect of antioxidants against sunburn and skin damage. Okay, the third thing that you guys want to do is optimize your vitamin D. Show of hands, how many of you guys are vitamin D deficient? How many know that you're vitamin D deficient? Probably a good chunk of you. Why? Because we sit in our homes. We work on our computers. We don't work outside. And here in Texas, it's miserably hot or it's wicked cold. People don't want to go outside, so we have to have the vitamin D. Why is vitamin D important? Again, I'm going to read my notes here. Melanin, the darker pigment that we get when we tan, is produced to shield the skin from further UV exposure. It's something that God gave our bodies, okay, melanin, so that we could protect, or we could be protected from UV exposure. That's why dark-skinned people need more sun to get the same amount of vitamin D. Does that make sense? So for my dark-skinned friends, you guys need to be out longer, or you need to take more vitamin D. Us pasty folks, like myself, Casper, see-through, I don't need to be out that long to get the adequate amount of vitamin D. When the body has enough vitamin D, it can start producing melanin to keep it from getting too much UV exposure. Okay? So there's evidence that optimizing your vitamin D levels through sun exposure and even through supplementation, so taking a good supplement, can help the body produce melanin faster and then retain it longer. This is what you want. We actually started doing vitamin D years ago because I was so tired of my kids being sick all the time. And I had read an article about this could help stave off colds and flus. I'm like, sign me up, give me a gallon. And it's true, that winter we did a little experiment, copious amounts of vitamin D, not one sniffle. Do with that what you want, but that's Bible right there. Okay, the fourth thing is getting sun exposure gradually. Do you guys remember back in the day we'd get a base tan before we'd go off to the tropics? Anybody? Before I went off to Fiji, I made sure I laid out in the sun a lot. Before I went off to Tahiti, I made sure I laid out in the sun a lot. Because the sun is different down there. It's like, here's the sun, here's the equator. It's like right there. You don't want to do that. You want to get it gradually. The sun is very beneficial because it produces vitamin D. A sunburn, not so beneficial. The easiest way to avoid a sunburn is to increase your sun exposure gradually and eating a healthy diet. Guys, this is so true. This is tested. Remember I cut hair for 100 years and I studied people? People who ate a healthy diet didn't get sunburned. That's just how it is. You don't need sunscreen. I know, totally rocking your little world, but we really don't need sunscreen at all. And then the fifth thing is avoiding chemicals and using natural options. We talked about that at length last week, at length. I will try not to bore you too much, but I do want to ask you, what's your skin eating? If you would not put it in your mouth and swallow it, why are you putting it on your skin? This is your biggest organ. Guys, our skin absorbs 60% of any topical product we use. Let me break it down. If your skin is absorbing it, that means you're ingesting it. I always giggle when people say, I don't want to take essential oils internally because I think that's, I don't know, I think that's weird. I'm like, are you putting them on your skin? Are you using lead poison lipstick? I mean, I'm just asking. People, inquiring minds want to know. So, our skin absorbs 60% of any topical product we use. The sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, that is sinister C-Rap, guys. If you are using something that has SLS in there, throw it in the trash. Just Google, test me and see. Google it right now. Dangers of sodium lauryl sulfate, and then come back and let me know if you think this is bad. Parabens. Optical brighteners. Fragrance. I told you guys this before, but did you guys know that 300 chemicals can be in the one word fragrance? That's frightening. The FDA doesn't have to tell you what fragrance means. And then our old friend formaldehyde. Boy, that creeps up in everything, doesn't it? I mean, you guys saw the dissection that we were doing and why it smelled so bad? It's because it had formaldehyde in it. They wrapped dead bodies in it. Why would you want to put it on your skin and then ingest it? You're ingesting it if you're putting it in your skin. And the last thing is petroleum. Also, if you have a product like a lotion or anything, a lip goop that has petroleum in it, do you guys realize you're drawing dirt and chemicals and junk into your body? That Neosporin that everybody puts on their cuts has petroleum in it. You're actually doing worse damage by doing that. Just saying. Just saying. Okay, so if you still are hell-bent on having a sunscreen, I'm going to give you some helpers here. Here we go. Did you know that coconut oil has an SPF of 4 to 8? That's cool, huh? 4 to 8. Just a little protection. And the thing is that you need to apply it often. Guys, we have been sold a bill of goods that says, oh, 4 to 8 hours protection, won't sweat off. That's a bad idea. That means it's got something sticking to your skin. It should come off. It should absorb into your skin, and you should need to reapply it. This is silly. Don't do that. Okay, let's repeat. Well, let me talk about this. You take supporting supplements. So we talked about the foods. Let's talk a little bit about supplements, and then I'll let you guys go. Vitamin D3. As an adult, you should be taking 5,000 units a day. Having copious amounts, not copious amounts, having the right amount of vitamin D has been shown to be totally effective to protect against sunburn and then skin cancer. Vitamin C, take about 2,000 milligrams a day. This is a potent anti-inflammatory, and it's great for your immune system. Guys, you should be taking vitamin C all the time. All the time. This supplement, we do this with our greens powder, and get your vitamin C. Coconut oil. You guys are probably like, so what? You take a spoonful of it and you eat it? I don't. My weirdo son Cannon does. I don't do that. That's super weird. You can if you want, but that's gross. No, what we do is we melt it in a little bit of tea, which I'll talk about that in a second. But we put it in some tea. If you're a coffee drinker, you can put your you can put it in a blender and do it a little, what do you call it, bullet coffee, okay? Cook with it, cook your eggs with it, your farm fresh eggs. P.S. if anyone needs eggs, call me. My mom has, we have how many dozen in our fridge now, honey?
Probably 10.
10 dozen, oh no, 10-ish, yeah. Anyway, cod liver oil, that's the last thing. It's great for remineralizing your teeth too. This is a favorite for sun protection. Favorite. If you are pasty like me, if you look like Casper, you're almost transparent, cod liver oil. There's many different forms out there. I am not a doctor. I don't have a bunch of letters after my name. I'm not going to tell you guys which supplements are best. I'm going to let you guys do that. Kim, I will message you what we use, but because I know Kim. Anyway, but as far as cod liver oil, you guys, you be your own researcher. Here's the thing. We just don't eat the way God create us to eat. We put all these other things in our body, and we're damaging the outside of our body, and we're damaging the inside of our body. Okay? So remember our sun protection secret? This is going to be the last thing. I'll let you guys go. Remember the secret? Antioxidants. So here's some foods that are super high in antioxidants, and you're going to love this. And you can do this, and you can get it into your body, and you can be boosting your sunscreen from the inside out and your antioxidants. Okay? Number 1, dark chocolate. Dark chocolate. Did you guys realize this? It must be dark. Do not comment. Do not call me back, but I don't like dark chocolate. I like milk. Okay, then stop having it. Milk chocolate is bad for you. Stop eating milk chocolate. It's bad. It's killing your cells. It's totally fake. It's barely chocolate. Barely. Dark chocolate, why? Here's the why. When you know the why, then you'll do it. Dark chocolate has flavonoids which help to keep the skin hydrated and can increase oxygen saturation into our cells, which boosts our normal cell production 2 ounces a day. A little word on dark chocolate. Do not be buying the chocolate that uses children as slaves. Don't do that. If I see you at the market and you're buying Hershey's, or you're buying Reese's, Hershey's didn't make dark chocolate anyway, or Dove, or any of that nonsense, just stop it. Be environmentally responsible. Be responsible about kids. Know that all that chocolate from Hershey's and all those big name companies comes from kids, your children's age. my children's age, have made that chocolate. Be responsible. Fair trade, slavery, free, all of it. But if you want names, I'll send you guys names. Number 2, cruciferous vegetables. What are these? Kale, broccoli, cauliflower, jam-packed with essential antioxidants that are linked to cancer prevention. There's a reason why there's t-shirts that say, kale, yeah, you gotta eat your kale, guys. If you don't like it, that's okay. It's time to grow up. Figure out how you like it. Because there's copious amounts of ways you can eat it. Broccoli, eat it. Learn to like it. You'll be okay, I promise. If my kid that threw up all the time when he would have some weird texture can eat it, you guys can eat it. Here's the thing, not only to skin cancer, the cruciferous vegetables, but also other organ cancers. Brussels sprouts in particular, I love Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts in particular can increase your skin's protection from the sun. Greens, fresh herbs, specifically parsley, basil, sage, rosemary are packed with sun protecting antioxidants. Studies have shown that eating leafy greens prevent the reappearance of skin cancer. I wonder why that skin cancer that invaded his body has never come back, because he had a sharp increase of greens in his diet. I mean, it was like this, and then it went like this, and that keeps going. Huge piles of kale and spinach. We don't do iceberg in this house. That's nasty. That's Mexican food restaurant lettuce. That's not okay. Green and black teas. They started as a leaf. Green teas. As a side note, that oolong tea, guys, that has been known to help slim you down. You should do some research on oolong tea. But green and black teas, they can stop cancer development. It's true. And then again, I'm just going to keep hammering it home. Coconut oil, and then coconut oil. What doesn't coconut oil do? You can clean with it, you can cook with it, you can eat it, you can put it on your hair, you can put it on your skin. It's amazing. Also, coconut oil is antibacterial. It's great for brain health, it increases sun tolerance, and it has an SPF. All of it. Up your omega-3 fatty acids. It's found in so many foods, especially in shellfish and fatty fish, which we don't eat. So we got to take supplements. But if you do, if you're not plant-based, then have your way with fatty fish. Research suggests that these compounds, the anti-inflammatory powers that it has, can help protect cells from free radical damage that are caused by the sun. Another study has shown that adding omega-3 to your diet or taking it as a supplement can help to prevent some types of skin cancer. I like how they say can help, can protect, may help, may support, because here's the thing. They don't want you to come back and be like, well, it didn't help me, and because there's so many variables. But here's the thing, guys. If you take everything that I just said to you, how many things did I say to add? Hold on, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you guys seriously, can you do this for me? Can you add dark chocolate? Can you add cruciferous vegetables to your diet? Can you add greens? Can you add black and green tea? Can you add coconut oil? And can you add omega-3s to your diet? You can. It's super easy. I didn't even touch on goji berries, wolfberries, and wild blueberries. Those 3 knock it out of the park. It's true. Super high on the antioxidant scale. All right, guys, there's your Eat Your Sunscreen class that you've been asking me for. Share this with your friends. Yes, Kim, easy plus 1. I swear I have so many book titles, but that's got to be a book title. Easy plus 1. You asked for it. I gave you the Eat Your Sunscreen class. It is, what are we at, March 15th? You guys have like 2 months to implement this before bathing suit season happens, before we're hitting the swimming pool. I'll end with this. Our doctor told us to stay out of the sun. My son had to be completely covered, like a little Muslim boy, right? If he was a girl in the Muslim culture. No swimming in the summer, swim after 5. 2 years after that, we're like, hell with that, we're putting in a pool. That summer, he spent hours and hours and hours in the pool. He was never sunburned. His skin was just a nice golden brown. He's never had a reoccurrence of skin cancer, ever. The doctors told us it would be back in 12 months. Our other kids were likely to get it. That's not a lot of hope. But we did the complete opposite thing that we were doing before he got cancer. Because remember, the definition of insanity is keep repeating the same thing, expecting different results. We decided to not have chemicals in our home. We decided to not eat chemical-laden foods. We decided to eat life-giving foods. And guess what? The cancer didn't come back. And I know as I'm sitting here, it will not come back. And with that, I ask God to fill each one of you guys with the knowledge of His will through all the wisdom and the understanding that the Spirit gives. I hope and pray that each one of you guys takes this information and does something with it and you thrive in life. Love you guys. Praying for you every day. Take care. Bye.